Happy Friday evening. Happy Friday night, crime fighters, crime solvers, everybody out there. Just wanted Morgan Wright here, CEO and founder of the National Center for Open and Unsolved Cases, Open Unsolved. I did take a shower, but I look a little beat, preparing for a long bike race next weekend. So putting in the miles, putting in the fun. It is Friday night, so it is beer 30 somewhere. So the infamous Golden Drock egg glass, which has to be matched with the infamous Golden Drock bottle, so it all has to match. So, wanted to give you guys a quick update of some of the things that are going on. So, we had a great week, a lot of development going on. In fact, I want to show you. Some of you might see this live, some of you will see it here in a little bit. But I wanted to show you some of the development that's going on. This is for you techies out there, you'll get this. You non-techies, don't worry about it. Just think of this as a huge way, a huge board to track everything that you're working on, what the status of it is, what it looks like. So let me take you to this. This is called the Jira board. And the Jira board has everything we've worked on it. So you see things like what do we still have to do? On the left side here, what do we have to build? What's in QA, quality assurance? What's ready for a client review? That would be me. And then what have we done? But I want to show you what's been done. This is based on you folks that have given us UAT feedback, the user acceptance testing, our beta testers. So I mean, we have punched through a ton of issues, a ton, a literal ton of issues. Look at that. It keeps going, right? So we've got those. And I'll tell you what, I got to give credit to my buddies there. We are down to just in the to do column. Let's see, one, two, three, four, five. I can't count. One, two, three, four, five, six to dos, two that are building, right? So we only got 8 issues left out of everything that we've done. So this is great stuff. But this just shows you the extent. I mean, this is why I like working with professional organizations. Everything is tracked, right? You click on an issue, you can see what's been done. There's screenshots, there's specific directions. I can give feedback. So we are primed. The reason I say that, we are primed to this system. We will be going live September 4th. 4th of September, we're going to be live with this system. We're doing I'll get to that here in a minute. Some of the training, some of you people who want to volunteer, I may be reaching out to you to say, do you want to do train the trainers? So we have 2 sessions from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern time on Monday, the 25th, and Friday, the 29th of August. As we get ready to go live in between that, I have a special session for administrator training because I am the super admin. I run everything, I see everything, but I have a special dashboard that I work from, but we're going to be doing some training. So this is just to give you guys an idea of what's behind the scenes there. Some interesting things that happened. We had a great meeting with the Attorney General's office this week, Virginia Attorney General's office. Theo and her group out there, William and Carrie and Jeremy, great folks. They're very interested. I mean, we're obviously having to get approval, so I can't speak for them yet, but it looks like there's going to be some ways that we can all work together collaboratively with the Virginia Association of Chiefs of Police, with the Chesterfield County Police Department, that we're going to start rolling out this training. And so our strategy is, remember, our strategy has always been content first, user second. By the way, I have to take a drink of this. I'm telling you, nectar of the gods. By the way, as I said, the beer and the glass do match. So we've got some interesting things coming up. So our training, we're going to be doing our first pilot training will be done September 12th. And we're going to do it at Chesterfield, working with my buddy, Johnny Capicelli. We're hoping to get our other buddy down there, Chris Flanagan. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a select group, just a small group. This is a pilot, right? So it's like a silent opening for a restaurant. If you guys ever ate at a restaurant, they do silent openings like, hey, you hear it's open, they haven't advertised it yet. People come in, maybe you get the food half price or something. Expect mistakes. Why? Because you're finding out things that you thought would work that aren't. You're finding flaws in the processes, the ingredients, whatever it is. So that's what we're doing. We're doing a silent opening, and we're going to have a few agencies come in. We're going to start with a handful in the Richmond area, the regional area, Chesterfield, what they call the RVA. So we're going to start rolling this out. So we're going to start training with a small group. I hope to get some of the federal folks down there. So I'm talking to the U.S. Marshals. Hopefully we can get a couple of their folks down there. But the goal is to have state police, Office of the Attorney General, Secretary of Public Safety, Chesterfield County. You name it, from a law enforcement, Richmond, all of those folks out there. And then but this is what makes it unique. So from 8:30 to 10:30, it's law enforcement only training. We're going to be training them on the system, getting them registered, getting them the links for the training, so they can, once we train them there, then they've got the training manual. They can go back and do the step by step. After that, we take a half hour break. Then from 11 to 12, it's combined. We bring the citizens in along with law enforcement, and we're going to have a combined session to where we show the citizens, this is your portal, but on the backside, hey, this is what law enforcement's seeing. So when you put information is here, this is what's going to happen here. So this is going to be very unique. I mean, it's going to be the first. I've seen combined training, but I don't want to say this is the first of its kind. It's not, but it's going to be very unique because this is. But the difference is this is a system to where both the police and the public work together in the same system. They have their own sides, right? The dots meet in the middle. We make the connections based on meeting in the middle. But we're going to have the citizens on one side, law enforcement on the other, and putting our information in. We're going to show them how that stuff matches and why their information is valuable. So that's going to be done on September 12th. Now, here's the thing. While I was on my Peloton, huffing away, wasn't much. I mean, I did 90 minutes. I've got like a 4-hour ride tomorrow, just a training ride to get ready for this big ride. But so I'm talking to a buddy of mine. He is a major, or actually a lieutenant colonel now with the National Guard Bureau, but he's assigned to military intelligence. So he's out at Fort Huachuca in Arizona. Any of you Army types know that's the home of MI out there. And we were talking. So I'd originally talked about creating targeting groups. And the more I thought about it, it's kind of like, words do mean things. So when you think targeting, that's kind of it is an offensive type of action. When you think of the targeting officers that worked in Alex Station, which was the group that went after bin Laden. You talk about SEAL teams and special forces teams. They have targeting officers. In other words, people who are designed to put people, bombs, and bullets on target. So we didn't want to do that. So we're coming up with some different names, along the lines of like an analytical cell, an analytical group. But initially, my goal is to start off with 3 groups. So if you're looking at volunteering, if you haven't, I'm actually going to be creating a sign-up sheet, another form. I've already got people who've signed up already before. We're going to do that. Sorry, one more sip here. Man, nothing better after a long ride. So we're going to be creating these analytical cells, but group 1 is going to be fugitives. I mean, that's people who want to do something with fugitives, people who want to help find people on the run, kind of like the America's Most Wanted. So, I will show you some other stuff too. I'm going to set up the video to play to show you the solution I designed. We featured it on the 1000th episode of America's Most Wanted. I was their technical advisor for a year and a half. We're trying to bring modern technology into this to make it quicker, faster, better to find fugitives. So we're going to create these groups. So group 1 is going to be fugitives. Group 2, cold case homicides, unsolved homicides. Why? Well, there's at any one time probably 200,000 fugitives. By the way, the average fugitive while they're on the run before capture commits 15 crimes. So we want to stop that from happening. Group 2, unsolved homicides. We have over 260,000 unsolved homicides in the United States. If the value of a human life is $10.9 million, you guys have heard me talk about this, the cost of crime. The value of a statistical life is $10.9 million. If we looked at just the total number of unsolved homicides and multiplied that 260 basically by 10.9 million, we'd come up with, I think it's 2.3 trillion. By the way, 2.3 trillion is bigger than 183, the GDP of 183 countries. Only 7 countries would have a bigger GDP than the value of the lost life from unsolved homicides. So that's why group 2 will be on cold case. Group 3, missing, unidentified, and unclaimed. Why do we do that? First of all, missing is obvious. I mean, it can be missing adults or child. We're not stepping on the mission of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. In fact, we want to help them close their cases. We want to feed them leads so that they can close their cases quicker, faster, better, reduce time, cost, and complexity. So missing, unidentified, right? There are, when you go to the NAMUS, NAMUS, NAMUS.gov, the National Registry basically of Missing and Unidentified Persons, I think there are 20,000 missing people, 25,000 unidentified people, and about 5,000 unclaimed. 5,000 unclaimed folks are ones where you know their name, but they died alone. You can't find any family. So they're being held a lot of times by medical examiners, waiting to see if they can find next of kin. So, we want to reunite. So group 1, fugitives. Group 2, unsolved cold case homicides. Group 3, missing, unidentified, unclaimed. Now we will add more groups as we go along, but it's like anything else. Can't boil the ocean. That's the mistake a lot of people make. They want to go. They want to go the Big Bang Theory. Let's throw a grenade in there, blow everything up. No, we can't do this. We got to start small, fail small, fix fast, move fast. So what we're going to do is those three groups. Now we'll add more later because obviously there's human trafficking, there's drug trafficking, there's terrorism, there's things like that. So we'll have analytical cells, analytical groups, whatever we decide to call them, and we're going to be looking for volunteers to help staff those. And so what'll happen is I will be in charge of all of these groups. Every group, I will be the umbrella over the top. And then what we'll do is we'll have assignments. We'll create groups. We'll create analytical cells, and we'll say, here's our target. All right. So if you're in Virginia, we're going to look at the 500 cases that are posted to the Virginia State Police website, and then we're going to start saying, let's start tackling those. So within that cell, working group 1, you get this. Working group 2, you get these 20. Working group 3, you get these 20. You guys collaborate. You work together. The goal is to get that case entered, and a lot of this will fall on me. I'll have some folks that I designate. Not everybody's going to have an account, quite frankly, because it's a cost issue. Every time we create an account, it costs us money. So what we're going to be looking at doing is creating certain people who are case supervisors, let's say case coordinators, and then they will have the ability to enter data. But what we'll have it'll be structured in such ways that it's really just like copy and paste. But the bulk of the work, the important work that the volunteers are going to do, is they're going to help us do the research, find the pictures, find the media, and most importantly, find the locations associated with that. So if we have an unsolved homicide and we have a victim, a lot of times they say the victim was found here, last seen here, and that's all you get, right? Well, I want to know, where was the victim born? Where else did they live? Where did they go to school at? Have they always lived in the area? Did they go to college somewhere? Where do we know that they went on vacation? What are all the locations, the other touch points that we may be able to make a connection between somebody who has information but doesn't know that it's relevant because they've never been exposed to the case? So we want to expose the case to them. I keep going back, guys. The example I use, and I'm going to hammer it home. Here's the U.S. Marshals flyer just on a wanted fugitive. Only 2 locations. In fact, here's what I should do. There's only 2 locations they talk about, right? Wanted in Wayne County, Indiana, basically by the Melvindale Police Department. So Wayne County, that's the county, right? That's where it's at. But Melvindale, Michigan, that's the police department that wants her. Okay, we want to find her. And then she distributed body parts along I-75 near Hancock, Ohio. Well, she's a trained phlebotomist. That's all we have. It took me 2 minutes of using artificial intelligence. I used Grok. I came up with 12 locations. And that was just not even scratching the surface. That's 12 locations. So what we want to do is find all of those things. And guess what? The other thing our analysts will do, again, like this fugitive here, she's a phlebotomist. She takes blood. She sucks blood. She's a professional vampire. I've had much blood taken. But think about this. What is the chances that she's got a skill set, she wants to use it or something related to that, right? But chances are she's not working, she doesn't have a W-2 because then her name would, she'd have to expose her name. She's probably using a false identity. So we need to find those areas to where maybe people who work for cash, or where some areas that we might be able to target around these that somebody might be working for cash under the table, target those with location. So folks, I'm telling you, there's a lot of work to be done. And one of the things I'm going to do for part of the training for our volunteer analysts is I'm going to get people with real skills in here. I actually have already reached out to people from CIA, DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, law enforcement, people who've done behavior analysis, worked at the FBI behavior analysis unit, things like that. We're going to get some real people on here with real skills to help train you. And then the other thing I looked at too is we want to be able to create a program to where you can graduate through your skills, right? So everybody comes into level 1, but maybe and we'll come up with some neat names for it, analyst, senior analyst or something like that. But there'll be a progression, right? So the more you stay, the more we train you. By the time you get to certain levels, we would be able to vet you, and maybe you get to the point of where you can actually be on the inside working with somebody like the U.S. Marshals or FBI or one of the local police departments or the state police, right? So where you'd be trusted, vetted, you'd probably have to go through some background checks, but that's okay. But you would have the requisite skills that we would need to be able to identify and close these cases. So those are the neat things that we're working on. So that training is going to be coming up. I will reach out to a select few. Can't have a lot because we have to keep the group manageable, but we'll be doing the train the trainer. So if you've already volunteered, do that. If not, stay tuned because next week, beginning of next week, I'm going to be having a form where you can come in and register and say, hey, I want to raise my hand. I'd like to go through the training. Don't worry about it because what will happen is even though you might not be able to come to the training, I will record this. We will record this, make the training available. So we will create a group, a page for everybody to come to so that you can come and watch the training. And then you can start saying, hey, then identify which group do you want to be in. Group 1, fugitives. Group 2, cold case homicides. Group 3, missing, unidentified, unclaimed. So that's the stuff that we're going to do. We're going to start really structuring this and going after it. We did get our first donor, wrote a very nice check. Buddy of mine, when we can announce it, I'm going to do that. He's going to also be a board member. So, guys, just some neat things happening. It's Friday, but I just wanted to give you a quick update of what's going on. Some of you just joined here. I'm just going to pop back one screen and show you something. If you joined late, this is the work that's being done, right? So on the left is the work that we have left to do. So we only have 6 things that are in the to-do bucket, 2 things that are in the current build phase, which means we're currently working on them. But I want you to look at what's over here on the done side. 6 on the to-do side, 2, I should have looked up there. There's the numbers, 2 on the build, 20 on the done. So all of this came from you folks who came to did the beta testing with us, gave us information. This is where this came from. We have all of these things over here that we've been worked on. You can see they've been checked off. They're done. So all sorts of neat stuff that's happening going into the weekend here. So I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. I appreciate everything that you guys have done to help us out. Go to Open Unsolved. If you haven't watched the demo video is on there. Just watch the demo video and stay tuned because on that I will start putting links to say, look, if you want to volunteer and become a volunteer case analyst and be assigned to a group, so we don't know what we're going to call them yet, analytical cells, analytical groups. That's why I said I'm talking to my friend from out at Fort Huachuca. He's a lieutenant colonel, deals with military intelligence. I told him, said, we want to come up with something that sounds like Jason Bourne-ish, but not to the point of where you're like, we're not asking you to put on a commando suit and go out, doing direct action and throwing flashbangs and kicking indoors. That's none of that. What we're talking about is, can we get you to the point of where you can bring skill sets, your thinking, your analytical thinking? We'll teach you critical thinking. We'll teach you analytical skills. We'll teach you how to go out and do open source stuff, but actually have you help us develop the information that goes into the case, that will generate the leads, that will solve the case. And that will be a big help. So, hey, guys, that's it for a Friday. A lot of stuff that I throw at you for 17 minutes and 37 seconds. So, everybody have a great weekend. If it's not beer 30, it is for me. So, you guys have a great weekend. I'll probably post something over the weekend, but we'll kick back in Monday because we're really getting close to getting this thing launched. So, remember, September 4th will be the launch for the law enforcement portal. We're going to target the end of October for launch of the Citizen Portal. I just doubled my number. I said, look, if we're going to go large, so we're going to double the original estimate from 500. We want to have 1,000 cases in this system when we launch regionally, locally, at the end of October. So, guys, everybody have a great weekend. I will talk to you later, and thank you guys for your support. Make sure you visit openunsolved.org, watch the demo video, and stay tuned for more developments. Thanks, guys.